Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome out to the shop. It's a new year, it's 2020. Just started off this new year and I'm tired of everybody saying the same thing. Man, it's a new year, I gotta lose weight, I gotta get in shape, I gotta work out, I gotta work on my body, I gotta make my body look better. So I figured tonight I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna come out here in the shop, gonna work on my body, gonna get my body better looking. Start me with a big cigar. Have a nice cold one or two and work on my body. Not this body. This body. Stay tuned. We're going to start working on car body tonight. So as we get started to mount the body on this car, one thing you need to realize is there's more than one way to skin a cat and they'll all make you puke. But just like that, it's the same as mounting car bodies. There's a million different ways you can do this, and I'm sure the way that I do it, there may not be anybody else do it this way. It's just the way that I've always done it and the way that's worked for me. I started out doing bodies as everybody probably did, doing 10th scale bodies back probably 30 years ago when I first started racing. With RC cars, we did 10th scale. I did about every kind of 10th scale body that there was because we did a lot of different types of racing back then. And then whenever I moved on into quarter scale, it was pretty much the same process, just bigger. So some of the tools and stuff, they're going to be the same as what I used on 10th scale, but it's just on a bigger body and a thicker plastic. So one thing you need to be aware of, whenever you're getting ready to start, the first thing that I like to do is mount the body onto the car, get my body post lined up. Now I do already have my bumpers installed on the car because this car's already had a body on it of the same type of body that I'm mounting now. So I'm going to use those to help me line it up. If you're putting new bumpers on the car, they may need to be trimmed. So whenever I'm mounting a body with new bumpers that haven't been fit to the car yet, I'll leave those bumpers off. I do have the tires on. You can see that it's just kind of hanging. I'm not really setting the fender wells yet. I'm just putting the body in place. So I don't really care that the wheels are hanging down. I'm just going to use everything to try to center the body up on the car so that I can mark my body posts and get those holes cut. So as you can see, I do have the body sitting on the car now. I haven't cut any holes yet. I haven't cut any of the body out yet. This body looks white because it has a protective plastic coating on the outside that bodies come with, so that as you're going through this, you won't scratch up the outside of the body. And you don't take it off until you're done painting before you put the decals on, of course. But one thing that it does allow you to do is that you can mark on the outside of this for your locations for your pins, and you don't have to worry about it marking the body permanently. So now that I've got the body on the car, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to make sure that I have it all centered up. I have the body posts touching. I have everything down as far as I want it to be. I can adjust the body ride height later as I'm going along with my body posts. Right now I'm just trying to get the location for my body post, and I'm trying to make sure that the car is centered both sideways and front to back. Up and down isn't that critical to me at this point because I'm not trimming the bottoms. So now with this white film on, I can't really see where these body posts are. So one thing I do is I'll take a flashlight, bright light, and I'll shine it up under here, and that highlights where these body posts are. So I can see those and make a mark in the center where that body post is. And that gives me the place where I can drill my holes. So It is possible to be off a little bit one way or the other. What I normally like to do is I'll do the front holes first and then put it back on, make sure those line up good and it's down on those holes. And then I will drill and mark the rear holes. That way I don't have to fit all 4 of them at the same time. So let me see where my pin thing is that I'm looking for. So I've got the body off, I've got my holes marked, and I'm going to just put a couple small holes on my marks. And I'm just using a small bit because I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm close to the right location. Because believe me, once you get the holes cut in it, there's no going back. You can't use any body filler on it and fill them back up. So once I get the holes drilled, I'm going to take this tool that is a body reamer. You'll see those. About any hobby shop has them. You can buy them mail order, or you can just use regular drill bits if you want to just drill them out. But be careful with this. You just push it in, give her a few turns, and it enlarges that hole. Then I'm going to put it back on, make sure I can see the body pins, body posts. I'm going to use my light again, make sure I'm getting in the right area. And I'm just going to keep using this reamer, working this hole bigger and bigger until I get them to fit down over the body post. So now, as you can see, I do have the holes big enough for the body post to stick through. They're still a little snug, so I may open them up a little more. But one thing I wanted to show you is on the inside of these holes. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it or not, but when you use the reamer, there'll be a little bit of like flashing around the inside of those holes that can stick down. So I usually just take a X-Acto knife and work through those holes and get them smoothed out a little bit. So now once I have the front end mounted, and I've got those body pins in, then I'll move on to the rear and I will show you where those posts are at. Now when I put the body back on, I want to make sure that those front posts stay in the holes, and I'm going to look under here and see where my post is. So you see that black dot, that's where my body post is, and the same one over there. So I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to mark dots on them just like I did these two, and drill and then ream them. Okay, so now you can see I've got the back body posts in, I've got the front posts in. So the car is mounted from side to side and up and down. So the only thing left is, in our next video that we do, we'll set this up. Whenever you start working on the height, you need to have your suspension compressed. I may have to lower my body post a little bit to get this tire to come up. It looks like the body's sitting a little high. There is a measurement in the rule book that tells how high this roof has to be. So we need to make sure you're aware of that, and I'll show you how we can check that and get all the rest of that stuff lined out in the next video. One thing I do want to show you is a couple bodies that I did in 10th scale. This body I did one night, and I thought it was kind of neat. It's pretty basic. You just draw lines on the outside of the body, and then on the inside you use paint and paintbrush and dab spots on the lines before you paint it. And I did a two-tone paint on that. This was another one of my older off-road bodies I did. One of my 10th scale pan car bodies I did that I was really proud of and really liked a lot was this Earnhardt body. Unfortunately, it's kind of smoky because I had a fire in here several years ago. This didn't get damaged, but did get a little smoke damage on it. So kind of like the way that one turned out. I've always been a big Earnhardt fan, so kind of hated to run that. Here's one of my, that was the first quarter scale body that I did. So You see, it doesn't have to be anything real drastic, real complicated, and hopefully you won't have any problems. But believe me, if you do, a few times around the track and into the wall, it'll pretty much take care of any blemishes you might have. So until next time, make sure that you keep the trigger pulled and stay tuned, because we're going to have a quarter scale spotlight coming up next. And be sure and like if you like this video, and be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thanks for watching. Hey guys, now it's time for the quarter scale spotlight. And the quarter scale spotlight is Quarter Scale Components. Frank Bowling at Quarter Scale Components. I talked to him on email. I've seen him at the track a lot of times. I've ordered a ton of stuff off of him over the years, always with great service and awesome products and great prices. But talked to Frank a little bit, and he was telling me that he started RC racing at 11 years old and started racing quarter scale about 18 years ago. And they started the business selling and supplying quarter scale parts, but then it just kind of grew and really took off. And now they handle parts for all sizes, all types of full scale cars, and all types of motorsports. So be sure to go on their website and check them out. And here's the website address. And Frank wanted to say thank you to everybody, all their return quarter scale customers that they've had over the years. But as I'm going through these pictures, be sure to notice the rod ends. There was some talk on quarter scale bench talk the other night about how many rod ends racers go through in the course of a year, and I go through probably more of them than anybody. But they have a huge supply of all the sizes that you need, different types, different styles. So be sure to check them out. And they also have all these other things on here that I'm scrolling the pictures through: belts, gears, that kind of stuff. And they also have tools for servicing your clutches and stuff. So be sure to check them out. Go on their website. They always have fast shipping, great service, and believe me, well, especially since they said they've been doing it for 18 years, whenever you ask them a question, they know their stuff, believe me. So be sure and check them out. Thanks this week to our quarter scale spotlight, Quarter Scale Components. Thank you.